Notre Dame coming to town. You guys are coming off of another weekend series win against Louisville. I guess what's been the main focus for you guys going into Notre Dame?
Notre Dame always brings scrappiness. They have some good veteran hitters, and I think this time of year is about playing your best softball. So we've got to play our best game as we go out there and know what they bring, but always a really competitive opponent.
It's kind of getting into that stretch of the season here, where, injuries are coming along as well, too. I saw Michaela's post today.
Yeah.
Looks like Allison's been absent for a bit as well. I guess what's the status been with them?
Yeah, obviously Michaela was doing great, and then, you break her finger, and that's just the way it goes sometimes with the game. And so she's a great teammate and will continue to be a great teammate and will help us. And so that's, good for us on that side of it. And then it's next woman up, Katie Dack and Maddie Fry Maddie Fry have been doing great behind the plate, for us. It's just they haven't been out there in the game. So now it's just a little maybe learning curve of in-game stuff, but other than that, they'll be fine. So we're excited about that. Allison's working her tail off to get back out there. And so, just managing that throughout the year. And but the kids are in great spirits, and they're just a good squad and a good unit.
If they might not being able to play and stuff like that, how important is their presence, just in the dugout?
I think, when you're talking experience, right? So two players that have a ton of experience. So sometimes that's almost even more important when you have someone sitting next to you saying, hey, I've been there before, I know what you're feeling. And, it's the part for the players, for Allison and Michaela, to not be out there because they want to be out there so bad. So it's kind of like coaching, like you can't really do it for them. And so when you get sidelined like that via injury, you realize, how much you really want to be out there. But you really test your leadership abilities and the ability to connect with people so you can help them through some situations. And so I think the two of them do a great job.
Can you talk a little bit about just like having that friendship almost of saying like, I know what it feels like to be in those shoes. I know one thing that we had just talked about was just that with Players Weekend coming here, just understanding your why and why playing for the sport is so much like bigger than just going out there and putting on a uniform. Can you just talk, I guess, maybe the timeliness of this and how important it is to maybe like preach how important it is, that next woman mindset, but also just knowing like who you are as a player is much more than just a player? Yeah,
I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in the outcome and the W's of sport, and we as a team and your teammates know that, you as a person are really important, but we want to share that with our fans, and we like to let people know that we're going through struggles also. So we got a lot of players dealing with family members, with cancer or, being from a distance, McKenna being from Oregon and representing her family from Oregon. And so when you start to put some human features to the back of your jersey, other than just a number, and who you play for, I think it brings some reality to our fan base and what we represent, the full package of the student athlete at the same time. But for our circle and Team 41, it's nice to have those conversations, because sometimes frustration of sport can seem like just frustration of sport, but the reality is maybe there's things on the outside that are leading to frustration. So if we can open those windows of conversation, maybe you feel a little more connection, and now you can actually help yourself through sport. And so that's a little bit of why we've been doing this, is just to connect a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry to backtrack a little bit, to the injuries and stuff like that. Is there a timeline for Allison or Michaela right now?
No timelines. I think it's obviously Michaela just had the surgery, so there'll be a little bit of just healing on that side of it. But if anyone knows Michaela Enfield, she's as strong as can be, spiritually and physically. And so, I think if she can get out there, she'll be out there. And Allison, I'm just slowly doing a return to play kind of mindset for her. I just think her health is more important. And when you talk about pitching, sometimes it can leak into back problems and arm problems, and I just want to make sure that we do right for her, but do right for the team at the same time. So it's kind of a collective whole on her return to play.
You've talked about the identity on this team as well, specifically in pitching as well, but just in general. It seems like the team, as the season's gone, is developing it a little bit more. Do you feel like Team 41 is starting to identify a little bit more of a sound identity?
I wouldn't say sound. We're still figuring it out. I would say McNeese was a really good game for us, just to see what we're capable of in the cleanliness of a game. We really sharp on the pitching, defense, and the hitting side, and I think just as a team in general, like, it was pretty sharp. So we know what our highs are, and we've definitely seen some of our lows. We just want to start evening out a little bit more consistency when, first pitch through the seventh, through the last pitch. So that's probably, gritty is something that we've talked about. Doesn't really matter how you win, just get some wins. But I would like to see the freshmen start to step up into that sophomore mindset right now, and been challenging it a little bit for their voice to start to contribute. And I think that they're pretty comfortable doing it, but that's what requires, here when you come to postseason, you only get 4 years to play this game. So, I don't think you can be like asterisk, like, oh, it's freshman year, now I only have 3 left, so we're just pushing those buttons a little bit right now. But I'd say gritty is something that we've embraced a little bit.
Are there any of those freshmen that have really kind of, stepped a little bit further forward and, the other freshmen taking that sophomore mindset?
Jason E. Beecham is kind of a quiet one, but we also have quiet, returners. I think Amaya RS is quiet, Kaylee Harding's quiet. Mudge has been a vocal voice, but she's usually kind of a quiet one too. So I expect Jason E., but she's just, how she plays is pretty consistent. And so she's earned her stripes right now, to her teammates of like, man, this kid shows up all the time. So it's not this freshman shows up, it's this kid showing up. And, we have some expectations of how she plays the game and brings herself to the park every day. So she's earning some stripes. I would say Ashton Danley right now is really starting to come into her own and have some fun with it, along with actually, producing. So it's good to see her growth starting to get into there too. Issa's been nails. I think Kennedy's harps had a lot of opportunity. So, it's just been fun to see them contribute and, have conversations. But, like I said, now you're contributing to this team in this season, so you are a part of it. So let's get your voice going.
I know one thing Jay has said before, she says that the game doesn't know you're a freshman. Mm-hmm. Is that a mindset you're trying to preach to some of those other freshmen as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think, when you get to this time of year, so many people can change the game in so many moments, and you just don't know when your number is going to be called. So if it is a bases loaded moment and, it's the 10th inning and we got to go to somebody, it's not going to go, oh, here comes the freshman, here comes someone for an opportunity to win this game. So if we've been preparing for that this whole time, it doesn't really matter if you've been in national championship games or not, you have this opportunity ahead of you. And so those are just some of the things that we've been talking about. We've been training since September. So there's a lot of time under our belt with everybody on this team. And so just being present is a huge focal point of ours.
I know over the weekend you had your 900th career win. Congratulations on that, first of all, Coach. Can you just maybe talk a little bit about how special it is to achieve that milestone? Because that's not something everybody can cross off their list.
Yeah, when you're playing 60 games a season, some sports are 12 games, 15, it is crazy when you look at, the numbers and they start, tallying up, which is super cool. It's just, you get a lot of text messages along the way, and it's from so many alumni or parents or other coaches. And I just think what's cool about those milestones is, so many people are part of it. It is not me. It's not 900 for me. It's 900 for this program, for the game of softball, for all the players that contributed, for the coaches that have been a part of it. It just takes a village to do what we're doing. And so I think it's time to kind of celebrate, like, holy schmoly, that's a lot of W's, and a lot of people have contributed to putting it out there to win those games, and it's been, super special to connect with those people.
Do you have a favorite win?
Oh gosh, a national championship one is a pretty good one. But I will tell you, and I talked to a lot of people, I think 2017 was one of my favorite seasons. We ended up losing here in Supers, and it was a heartbreaking one. And I will surely always remember that, just like I will a national championship. But those lessons from some of the losses contribute to all of those W's. And I think that we do a good job of that as a program too, is really learning from those growth moments and being able to put those forward. So I have loves on both sides of the wins and the losses.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you.